Your specific person wants to pursue you. There's absolutely no chasing required in manifestation. Welcome back, everyone. Today is day 4 of our 7-day manifestation journey. And the way that you're going to get your specific person to chase after you has everything to do with your intensity of your imagination. So let me start things right by putting up a quote by Neville Goddard, which you know I've been loving these quotes. And he wrote this. He wrote, "Truth depends upon the intensity of the imagination, not upon external facts. Facts are the fruit-bearing witness to the use or misuse of the imagination." So as we know already, everything around you is already reflecting exactly what your imagination is consisting of. So if you want your specific person to start chasing you, especially during this 7-day challenge, you have to make sure that your imagination follows through with it. And most of the time, people think they need to begin changing the assumptions they have in their specific person in order to make this happen. For example, let's say that someone feels as if they don't have the assumption that their specific person can chase after them. So their first thought is going to be on their external reality or on their specific person. They're going to begin thinking that they need to alter this assumption in order to change everything. But what if I told you it's not the assumption on your specific person that needs to change? Obviously, that is important, but more important than that is the imagination in connection to ourselves. So it's not that we're assuming that our specific person doesn't want us or doesn't want to chase after us. It's that we are assuming that we are someone whom our specific person doesn't want or doesn't want to chase. And I know those seem like very similar sentences and phrases, but they are entirely different. So I'll state them again. The problem is not that we're assuming our specific person doesn't want us, but are assuming that we are someone our specific person would not want to chase. You see how the attention and the energy is focused more on us rather than on our specific person. And that's where the imagination and the intensity of imagination is going to create and change your whole reality. Because most of the time, we have all of our attention outside of us on our 3D. For example, if you were to ask yourself right now where your attention is, or if you thought you had to change the assumptions on your specific person right now, would you be guilty of this thought? And of course, again, the assumptions we have on our reality are playing a role, but everything is connected to yourself. Remember that you are the mirror, or you are the thing that is getting reflected in the mirror. So your assumptions, your thoughts, and your beliefs are getting reflected. So if you're not seeing your specific person show up as someone who wants to pursue you, then it has everything to do with your assumptions on yourself. Again, you are thinking and assuming that you are someone who might not be pursued. Again, of course, it connects with our external beliefs on our specific person, but we want to remember that we are creating this every single moment of every single day. And if you were to look into a mirror, you would never attempt to change anything through the reflection. You would only and ever be able to change it through yourself, which thus reflects in the mirror. So our specific person manifestation and having them pursue us to chase after us is going to be absolutely no different. Which comes into my second quote by Neville Goddard that I think is going to be extremely important for everything else we talk about in this video. So I'll place it up on the screen. Neville Goddard wrote, "Man becomes what he imagines. He has a self-determined history. Imagination is the way, the truth, the life revealed. We cannot get hold of truth with the logical mind. With a natural man of sense sees a bud, imagination sees a full-blown rose." Which I just realized I read that wrong, but either way, it makes the same exact sense. So right now, regardless of what we are seeing in our external reality, we need to rely on the intensity of our imagination. And I know, obviously, that makes sense. We all know what we're assuming is going to create our reality, but have we really focused on the intensity of our imagination? That's where the power comes. Also, as well as this, a lot of times we think that we're able to, in the past, or when we think of the past, we think we're absolutely in control of everything, right? In the same way that Neville Goddard wrote that man has a self-determined history. When we look back, we realize, oh yeah, everything we thought of, everything we assumed, every action that we actually took played a huge role, as well as our beliefs in what had occurred, right? You can look back to any situation, good or bad, that has occurred to you in the past, and you can find out that your assumptions, your beliefs, your actions all created it. But then why do we find it hard to think that right now we could have our specific person chasing after us or pursuing us based on the same concept? Because when your specific person is chasing after you, you're going to look back and understand again, as you did in the past, that your actions, your beliefs, and your assumptions all were playing a role with your assumptions and your beliefs being the most important factor. And there's actually a reason why we are doing this, or able to think this way. Because again, think of what happened in the past as compared to the future. I'm sure one is easier to imagine than the other, but this is actually something called the end of history illusion. And so it's the concept that we think we have changed much in the past and caused a lot of things to occur in the past, but we have a hard time thinking and assuming that same way about the future. But the reason is because when we think of the past, it's much easier to imagine than the future. And I think you guys see where I'm going with this. So then it all is connecting back to our imagination. So go back to that concept. It's not that we are attempting to change the assumptions on our specific person. We're actually never changing anything directly in our reality. We are changing ourselves and thus causing a reflective change outside of us. So to reiterate that, it's not that we're assuming our specific person doesn't want us, but that we are assuming we are someone our specific person doesn't want. Again, it sounds so similar, but those are much different, because when we want our specific person to pursue us, to chase after us, to text us, to call us, to make everything absolutely easy and effortless, it has everything to do with our own value, right? It's a value problem, a confidence problem, right? And I wouldn't even say it's a problem. It's just like a roadblock, because then when we know and focus on ourselves and become valuable, it's going to be obvious and really confusing why your specific person is not already chasing you, which will thus cause an instant manifestation happen outside of us. But it's all connected, as we we're saying, to our imagination. And I don't want to hear that you think that you might not be able to do this, or that it's going to be difficult, or that it's going to be hard, because you wouldn't be watching this video if you did not know for a fact that you could manifest your specific person. Why else would you be watching this video? If you didn't believe this, if there wasn't some part of you that knew that you could do this, there would be no point to you even being here, right? It would be confusing. It would be literally pointless. If everything is up to chance and it's random and you do not, and your imagination has no control over that, what's the point of even sitting here watching this video or desiring what you want? Because you know for a fact that you can control and create your entire reality. So why would, even if it seems very difficult to understand or imagine at first, again, that's our connection to the intensity of our imagination. We want to increase that massively. Even if it feels hard to think of right now, it doesn't take away the possibility or the ability for you to actually create that and to live that in your reality. And how much easier is this 7-day challenge going to be if your specific person is chasing after you, pursuing you, calling you? And yes, this is something you could do, but I wanted to focus specifically on that small, minute change, because as again, I want to re-quote Neville Goddard, everyone has a self-determined history based on their assumptions, based on their imagination, and we are either using it or misusing it in accordance to what we want or don't want, but it always is. Everything is possible for you to create right here and right now. And to really showcase that this is something that you could do right here, right now, I actually wanted to give you a success story from a recent coaching session where they mentioned every single time that they booked a coaching call with me, they broke out of no contact, received messages, calls, everything changed with their specific person. So I'll put that screenshot from their latest message up above. They wrote, hey Kyle, because it was in opposite order. Hey Kyle, my specific person unblocked me and texted me. Thank you so much for your coachings. I always get movement after speaking with you. So what an amazing belief to have. And you could have the same belief with these videos. Every time you watch one of these videos, something amazing and awesome happens. But this has literally happened every single time they've ever booked a coaching session, and it gets to be amazing and it's awesome. And I love this assumption because really it's always creative in your reality. And just like, again, the coaching calls in this video, we can have the same exact outcome every time you watch this, review this, think about this, contemplate this idea or this outcome with your specific person. They pursue you that much more. Every moment and second you're watching this video, your specific person is one step closer to being with you. I absolutely cannot wait to see and hear about everyone's updates. So make sure if you do have any updates, leave them in the comment section below, as well as any questions that you are having during the process. Literally, there's no question that I would not love to answer in a video. So make sure you are commenting them. And the main thing that we actually want to take away from each of these videos, because someone was commenting about like what challenge or what thing are we doing, think of it more as an understanding. Manifestation is more about understanding as compared to anything else. It's not really a doing thing, because doing and acting out divine guidance in your reality is going to be coming automatically from the state. So think of this as more of an understanding. If you can understand this and think about this and really contemplate it within your mind, you will see the craziest things begin to happen, because that's what manifestation is. It feels like magic. It always feels like magic because everything is perfect and always in alignment to our assumptions, but it really isn't. It's all a process of assuming and imagining. So make sure the intensity of your imagination is really powerful. Take a moment and think about your imagination of how you're seeing the future, right? How intense is it? How intense do you see you and your specific person together? And if it's kind of low or you're not really thinking about what you want, really amplify it up. What exactly are you looking for with your specific person? What's the amazing reason that you want to be with them? What's the happiness, the abundance, the passion and energy you expect to get from this? And when you start to contemplate those ideas, everything becomes a million times easier and you manifest a million times better. If you did absolutely love this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. And then if you do want to continue on our 7-day journey, or you're just joining in, make sure to watch the other videos, because there have been some crazy success stories. I didn't want to include all of them in today because I think it's just overtaking the whole videos. So we'll focus on our own personal success. I'll probably put successes in the future from this specific challenge probably in tomorrow's video. But for now, just think about yourself, think about your intensity of your imagination, and I'll make sure to link like one of the videos at the end of this video actually. But again, if you did have any questions at all and didn't want to post them down below, wanted to send me a personal question, head over to kyleaugustcoaching.com. That's where you can reach me personally and talk to me directly if it is something that you wanted to do. As always, thank you so much for stopping by today, and I can't wait to see you in my next video tomorrow.